This is the A329 dash cam from Viofo, and we are going to install this today on my 1993 Ford Ranger, but this installation will be very similar for any different type of car or truck. This particular model comes with 3 different cameras. It has a front and rear facing camera as well as an interior camera, and it also can be controlled via voice control. Also comes with a wireless remote control. The rear camera is waterproof, and it also has a parking mode too. So this seems like a really good unit. Let's see how easy it is to install. I have dash cams on all of my vehicles. It's a great way to protect yourself if there's an accident. Also just to catch interesting things that you see in your daily drives. So let's go ahead and get this unpacked and then installed. It comes in this very nice packing along with a user manual and comes with a memory card as well. Here are the 3 cameras and everything else that comes in the box. This will be the forward facing camera. This is an interior fisheye lens camera, and this is the rear waterproof camera, which has a long cord that connects into this up here. It comes with a cord that you could simply just plug into a cigarette lighter, but we have this dash cam hardwire kit, which I prefer. It's a little bit cleaner of a setup, and we will just connect this to some fuses, and I will go over all that in our installation video as well. So the first thing I like to do is see where we are going to mount all of these cameras, so we can use this temporary power source here to see what it looks like and get a good view of everything. Then these just stick on to wherever you want to mount them, and then we run the wires, and that's pretty much it. So I just have this plugged into the cigarette lighter here, plugged into the main unit. I'm just setting it up here to see where the best spot for it would be. Right here seems like a good spot. Typically right under your rear view mirror is going to be a good spot for it, and this part here can click down or up, so you can adjust the angle a little bit. As long as we have a nice clean spot here, we can go ahead and secure this right there. I'm just going to get a little bit of alcohol and wipe that down. I'm just using some rubbing alcohol here, clean off our spot. And once that is nice and dry, peel off this backing, and then stick this right here onto our windshield. Now, if it doesn't bother you having a wire hanging down, you can make this install go very quickly by just plugging it in and you're good to go. Plug in these other cameras if you want, but that is as simple as it could be. But I like to hide all the wires, make it look a little bit nicer. We'll probably go under this headliner here. So next thing I want to do is see where to put this interior camera. The kit comes with all the cables that you need and everything's wired. So this one here says interior. So we just plug this into the interior camera, and then this side will plug into the main unit. Could possibly go up here, maybe just below the camera. We're gonna see what looks the best. This just has one wire that plugs in here. It goes into this bottom section right here. It says interior on the camera. It now says connecting. It tells us it is now recording, and we can see a little square up there of what the interior camera looks like. And this also twists and pivots to the best spot. So kind of like this one up as high as it can go right here. Kind of gets it out of the way. If we put it down here, it's a little bit too much in my view, which I don't really like, so try to put that up a little bit higher. Could also go in this corner. I kind of like in that corner, mainly because I can put the wire up through here and hide that wire a little bit better, so I think that's where I'm gonna put that. So I'm putting this interior camera up in this right corner. You can put it wherever you like. I just prefer to have the wire hidden. Okay, so now we have 2 of the 3 cameras where we want them. Let's go ahead and temporarily run this line to the back so we can see where we want to mount that back camera. It's gonna be going above the rear license plate in pretty much every scenario. Okay, let's go to the back and see where this one's gonna mount up. So my Ranger here, there's not a ton of spots where I can put this. Since the license plate goes right up to the bumper here, I would put it up here, it's gonna get crushed by the tailgate. I think for me, the best spot is going to be right next to the hitch, sitting down like this. Luckily, this comes with a mount that can be 90 if you're gonna put it like this, or it also can be laid flat down like that. I'm thinking that this is gonna be the best spot for me right here. So I'm just gonna plug this one in so we can see what it looks like up front. I just heard it connect in there. So I'm thinking that that will probably be the best spot for it. Okay, that looks like a pretty good spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that down, and I'll probably screw it down also. On second thought, there's a nice spot where I can put it under here where it's gonna be much more hidden and more protected too. I'm just cleaning off the spot on here, stick it on. It should be perfectly fine. Okay, so that looks a lot better. It's completely hidden now. So all 3 of our cameras are now mounted. Last thing to do is just run these wires and hide everything, and then our installation will be complete. This next part is the hardest part, which would be just hiding all of the wires and making sure everything is connected properly. The first thing that I will do is find a fuse that has power at all times, and then find a fuse that has power with only the key turned. So you just need to find your fuse box, and then I use one of these, which is just a test light. It just has a little clamp that you clamp onto a ground, which is just any bare piece of metal really under here should work. And then when this touches power, this will light up. So we found our fuse box under here. So here's our fuse box, and we're just going to touch the little metal bit sticking out of all these fuses. And you can see this one here. I've already done this, so I know which ones, but this one here has power at all times. If we touch this one, it also does. Now this one up here at the top, this 15, does not have power right now. So this 15 has it at all times. We're going to use that one for the constant, and I will put a little mark on that one. Now if we put the key in and turn it, this will be keyed ignition power here. So go back down to my fuse box and I will check this 15 amp fuse up here. See, it lit up here. So we see this one lit up when we turned the key and it did not light up when the key was off. So this means it has switched 12 volts. So this is our hardwire kit. It has a side that plugs into the main unit and it has a ground here. And then this red, it's marked here as constant battery. And this is the 12 volt switched battery, which is otherwise known as accessories. So this will go on the one that only turns on when the key turns on. This one goes to the fuse that is on all the time. These are fuse taps. So basically we put the fuse that we took out into here. Then we put the fuse that we want to control the dash cam into this side. It has a little crimp end. So it'll basically just get crimped onto there and then plugged into the fuse box where we want it to go. So here's our two fuse taps and I put the fuses back in here. So we have a 15 amp that we took out of the fuse box and then another one that will control the camera. We have that for both of these here. And then once these are in the truck, we'll crimp it to these wires here and then run this one up to the camera. And then the camera will have hardwired power. Now that we have located the fuses that we want to use, we can go ahead and disconnect the battery since we're going to be messing around with wires and stuff. So good idea to go ahead and disconnect that. Just gonna take that off for now. We don't need this wire anymore since this is going to be replaced with the hardwire kit. So we have two wires that we need to get to go up here, across, down here, over to the fuse box area. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and remove this trim piece here so we can go ahead and get the wires down. Just a couple screws. So now I can plug in the hardwire kit to the unit. And then these two wires need to be tucked up under here. Okay, now that we got it to here, just need to do the same thing and tuck it down behind some of these screw holes. Okay, now that I got it routed down here, I can put this trim piece back on to hold it. Now the rest of our work is going to be down here by the fuse box and getting the wire to the back of the truck. So we're over here in the driver's side footwell by the fuse box, and I have these crimped up to our power to the camera and also a little ground here to go on a bolt. So we're just going to plug these into those fuses that we identified earlier, and then the power for this should be done. So here's what it looks like at the fuse box now. One of our fuses here, this is the one that was only when the key was turned. That's the constant back there, and then we have the ground on that bolt back there. Going through this grommet here is the wire that's going to go back to the license plate where that camera is. So that wire goes out of there, comes through the grommet down there, and then it'll go straight down into the back of the truck. Okay, so I got it all wired up. I'm gonna go under here and show you where I have the wire going from the front all the way to the back where it plugs into the rear camera. So it comes down through that grommet. I have it zip tied along this parking brake rod all the way down to here where it goes up into the frame, and then it basically just follows the taillight wiring all the way back. Here's where we have the extra bunched up here. Plugs into our camera, which is right here. Here's another view of the camera. Can't really see it. Last thing to do is reconnect the battery and see if everything works. So we can see that it is working properly and all three channels are recording. And we also hid that wire up there as well. Here's what it looks like on top. So right now I'm showing you what it looks like on my actual phone here, and we can go through and switch the cameras. So this is what the front camera looks like. This is what the interior camera looks like. And then the back camera, which is just facing the garage door right now. But it's very easy to use this app. You can switch through all this stuff. So far I'm really liking this system. Next, we can drive around and see how it looks like out in the wild. And then I'll post some of that footage at the end as well. The last cool part about this system here is it has this little Bluetooth switch. So you can put this anywhere you want. And if you click this button, then it automatically will save the footage that's being recorded. There's also some buttons on the side that can be customized. One is for mute right now, but you can change it to a couple of different things like turn the camera off or time lapse, stuff like that. So this is nice to put somewhere like right here so that you don't have to take your eyes off the road really to try to click the button on the camera to record. If you want something that you want to save, you can just quickly click this button and it'll automatically save the footage for you. So say I just saw something that I want to record, I'm going to hit this little button down here. Video protected. And it says saving video, and also beeps a little bit to confirm that it has saved the video. So there you have it. There's my review and installation of the Viofo A329 dash cam. It was a pretty simple setup. It came with everything we needed, and the quality on it's really great. And I also love this feature where I can have this little button over here where I don't have to be messing around with this when I'm trying to save some footage that I can review later. So if you guys want this product, it'll be listed in the description below, and they're having a pretty good sale going on right now. So go ahead and check them out. Thanks guys for watching.